Okay, so my name is Juan Vicén and I am the co-founder and vice president of institutional relations at Zeleros, the European company that is developing an innovative Hyperloop system to connect cities at ultra-high speeds and also using this technology to decarbonize other hard-to-decarbonize mobility systems like railway, for example, aviation or ports.
Is Hyperloop something which is science fiction, or is it something which could be soon a reality?
Hyperloop is a technology that is already 200-year-old, so there have been many progress since this 200-year-old history. It was popularized in 2013 by Elon Musk, but now has seen a growth thanks to the European startup scene and other international players that are investing in order to create it and test it and validate it in order to have the system in 2030. So there are already human passenger tests that have been done, and now we are nearer than ever to become the Hyperloop to become a reality. So we are in the near term going to be seeing Hyperloop as a reality, but of course there is a lot of work that needs to be done and a lot of testing.
What would bring to human transportation, first of all?
Hyperloop brings the added value of speed is higher than aircraft. On the other side, passenger experience, comfort, similar to a train, in the sense that you can take it directly from the city centers. On the other side, resistance to adverse weather conditions, which will boost availability, taking into account that the major cause of delays of most of transport is due to the weather conditions, and that is prone to increase with climate change. So in the end, the final point is sustainability. In the end, it's providing the users with a sustainable option to travel long distances, which is now not a very sustainable system, and it could provide a complementary service to what the existing solutions right now.
If you would give us a date, what date would that be that I and all people listening or reading would get into a Hyperloop?
So basically, we consider 2030 as the target date in order to have the commercial Hyperloop certified for passengers. We think that before that we will see cargo systems because it has lower requirements, but 2030 is a date we feel comfortable with. Obviously it will depend on many factors, but it's something we are striving towards making it a reality. Yeah.
How will the experience be? Let's imagine the first passengers commercially using this system of transportation. Describe the experience. Where do I go? Where do I get in? How do I pay? What do I see? How do I arrive at my destination?
So I think the main word to describe experience is seamless. So basically imagine taking a new transport system that you can buy the tickets online, have a door-to-door experience where you already have the service from your door to the city center where you will take, where the Hyperloop stations are located. A Hyperloop station that is located also in main multimodal stations that also connect other services. Once you get to the stations, you will enter seamlessly into the boarding station. So basically, the boarding procedure, the security control will be very similar to high-speed rail, so very easy to enter, but also with the safety in mind. And once you are there, so you will basically use the existing. So you will enter the vehicles with a very similar experience than a high-speed rail. So entering the cabin, the capsules will depart every 2.5 minutes more or less. A different capsule will depart with different levels of comfort depending on which customer you are, what are your needs. One for business, one more for families. So and then once you are inside, you will feel in a comfortable environment similar to aviation or railway that provide all the entertainment but without all the disruptions, for example, of airplanes that you need to fly and you have a percentage of the flight that you cannot use, for example, your devices, because in the case of Hyperloop we will be only gradually accelerating up to the high speeds, and inside you will have also connectivity. And basically the system will gradually stop with all the emergency measures taken in order to ensure the smooth travel for the passengers. So you will be in about 30 minutes or 1 hour maximum, 1 hour and a half in your next destination, and from there, you will be able to enjoy life in other place and come back maybe the same day if you are working, or maybe stay there for some time. So that's basically the experience.
Speed. Could you describe us the tentative speeds in which Hyperloop systems will be traveling?
Basically, Hyperloop is best at distances from 400 to 1,500 kilometers in distances between cities, and that makes it a system that can achieve speeds up to 1,000 kilometers per hour. Although, if you look at the current status, the competitivity in these regions, as of today, the distances, the speeds are about 600, no more kilometers per hour by plane. So basically, if Hyperloop achieves a higher speed than 600 kilometers per hour, you can already outcompete other modes of transport, and in that sense, so become a feasible option to travel. So in that sense, we are aiming for speeds faster than 600 kilometers per hour.
Is Europe going to be one of the first continents to enjoy Hyperloop?
We think so. Europe is one of the first countries that has been embracing Hyperloop. The system started in Asia and also in US, but after a first wave of developments, now we are seeing a second wave of developments where Europe has taken the lead in key aspects, such as, for example, regulation. We created the first standardization committee on Hyperloop. The first regulation at government level is taking place now. And we have also pioneering test tracks, like for example in Valencia, in the Netherlands, or in Poland, that are good signs that we will become one of the pioneers. But there is still support needed in order to make it a reality, and for this the countries have a lot to say. The European Commission needs to invest on that to secure this competitiveness.
Is it still something that seems futuristic to most people when you talk about this concept?
There are reasonable doubts about the system, as in any other method of transportation. There are always challenges. No? For example, people is really worried about what will happen if the tube has some kind of terrorist attack, for example, or some kind of acceleration. So mainly like very technologically related questions that are difficult for common society to understand. But we think that with the global exposition that the system has received, for example, being in the World Expo of Dubai, being in the World Economic Forum, it has given a good platform, so people don't think that this is anymore like a science fiction project, but it's getting into reality. And obviously, so there will be people that is very negative about it, very positive about it. So we try to be in the middle, trying to be realistic, ensuring that this is something that we have to work on. But on the other side, taking into account that the analysis show that a promising future can be with Hyperloop. Yeah.
Is it a hardware challenge thing or a software challenge thing?
I think it's more a hardware challenges. So basically the technologies of signaling, communication have been already existing in many different sectors, but the point is that never these technologies have been integrated. And for this integration we need test tracks. So basically these test tracks are really hardware intensive, and there needs to be some kind of support in order to create them, and it takes time. No? So software, the good point is that you can test it much more rapidly. With hardware you need to integrate all these technologies, and it takes time and money. No? So that's the main challenge I see. So basically the main source of the Zeleros is putting the majority of technologies in the vehicle, because mainly the main cost of such systems is related to the infrastructure. So the systems we analyzed were putting a lot of infrastructure complexity, and what we are trying is to put all this technology of levitation, propulsion in the vehicle, so the cost of infrastructure is reduced dramatically to a point similar to high-speed rail, so that can be expanded worldwide. So that's the main source. Yeah.
Thank you very much.